There are listeners all over the county of Frontenac yelling at me to ask you, how much does it cost?
Right. So our firm, and I can't speak for others, although I can tell you what my understanding of the general practice is, but personal injury lawyers who just practice in this field will usually operate under what's called a contingency agreement. And contingency fees tend to reflect, from what I understand, about a third of what somebody gets at the end of the day. Our firm sits at about 30%. Sometimes we can do it for less, and if we can, we do. But 30% is usually what I tell people when they walk through the door. I can usually get a third to a half of that actually covered at the end of the day by the insurance company. So as part of the resolution, if it's a negotiated settlement, they will pay the damages plus contribute towards legal fees. Or at the conclusion of a trial, if you're successful, you can ask for your legal fees on top of the damages. And we can usually get a third to a half of it covered by the insurance company. So to give you a math example on the fees, if we get somebody $10,000, our fee would be $3,000. But if we got the insurance company to pay half the bill, then we'd only have to take $1,500 out of the $10,000, and our client would be left with $8,500. And what we do, and this, I don't know how unique this is in our region. I'm sure there's others that are doing it as well. But what we do is not just wait to get our fee until the end. We actually carry the legal costs associated with advancing the lawsuit.
The disbursements.
The disbursements, yeah.
Issue the claim, serve the claim, the discoveries and transcripts and all of that.
Right. And most importantly, we cover the expert's costs. So if somebody has an orthopedic injury, we'll have to send them to an orthopedic doctor and get what's called a med legal report that'll help us with that best educated guess of what the future looks like. And those cost $3,500 for $2,500 to $3,500 for an orthopedic report. Neuropsych reports, which will tease out brain injuries, tend to be more expensive than that. If there's an issue on whether or not somebody's going to be able to return to work, we may get vocational experts involved. We'll get accountants and actuaries to put numbers on what a person's income loss might be. We may get a future care cost analysis as well, and those tend to be fairly expensive. We did a trial one time, David, where at the conclusion of the trial, we had spent over $200,000 in disbursements to try and support this claim, and we needed every nickel of it. It was
You better win.
It was very complicated, but yeah, and we did in that case.
What happens between you and your customer if there's a loss and you have X dollars of firm money out there in disbursements? Do I have to repay? Does the customer repay you?
Well, in our particular case, and again, I can't speak for others, that's part of the risk that we carry with our clients. And but it's also one of the reasons why our fees are 30% of whatever we get somebody.
Yeah, I get you.
Minus what we can get contributed by the insurance companies.